Who's that guy in that old shirt? Who must be the fence expert? Who's that guy in that old shirt? Who must be the fence expert? Time to talk about the fences. It's time to discuss operations and expenses. It's time, it's really time to elevate small businesses. It's time for Joe to drop his knowledge. It's relentless. This rhyme of mine is getting a bit ridiculous. Here we go. We're live with Joe. Enjoy the show.
What is up, Fence fam? Joe Everest, the fence expert. For the next few weeks, we've got a series of interviews I think you guys are going to get a ton of value out of. We're interviewing the presidents of the regional chapters of the American Fence Association about who they are, who their chapter is, the areas the chapter covers, really what it is to be a regional chapter, and how you can get involved if you're not already. For more information, you can navigate to the American Fence Association's website, AmericanFenceAssociation.com. Look under the membership tab and regional chapters. With all that being said, let's get into the interview. All right, guys, we have a great interview lined up for you today. I think you're going to enjoy it just as much as I do. For maybe a lot of folks, at least within your chapter, obviously already know you, and a lot of guys in the industry know you. For the 2 or 3 people that don't know you, brief introduction.
I think 2 or 3 people know me. Many don't know me. I'm going to make my emergence here today, but no, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Kevin Hohe, Complete Fence, out of Chicago. We're putting up fence nationwide, and I am the duly appointed chapter president of the Greater Chicago chapter.
Very good, very good. Kevin, let's talk a little bit about maybe your history in the fencing industry. How did you get into fencing?
I mean, most of us sick freaks were born to it, right? So I'm third generation fencer. I can remember putting the fittings away in the sand piles that turned into concrete someday, like when I was young, playing with fittings, all that. But yeah, I quit football, pissed my dad off, and he's like, "Well, you're going to work," and he didn't give me time to find a job, so I got stuck in the shop stretching gates. I wish I had more time on the truck. I probably installed like 2 or 3 summers, but I was a salesman. I came up through the sales ranks, so I remember. I think I shared this, but yeah, I was in the middle of somebody's yard pretending that I had found the property pins at age 16. It was my defining moment in my career. Miss Terry Dolan, she's like, "You sure it's her?" I was like, "Yeah." I think I stuck a spade in and found a rock and told her that was her pins. I thought that they were like, the whole yard had like rebar around it, so I thought I could whatever. I learned that the hard way, but yeah, sure. Mostly sales for me.
Okay, very good. But done it your whole life, sort of thing.
Unfortunately, I took a leave of absence for the military, which was an amazing experience. I was gone for I did the reserve pipeline, so 1.5 2 years of training, and then I didn't think I was going to come back, and I did, and there's no looking back. It's been good to me.
There you go. Talk to us a little bit about Chicagoland chapter. Who's in the chapter? What does the chapter look like? That sort of thing.
Yeah, I'd say. So we just did our golf event. We had like 100 people there, and the feedback that we got was I needed to talk better about our chapter. So I admire the other chapters that are like really, really doing great work. I'm coming for Shane. We're gonna take Indiana out because we're the sleeper. But yeah, when I got there, I think my goal with the chapter was to just reestablish community. Like there was some bitter rivalries. Like we're not a community of fence people that supports fence people. We're stealing subs from each other. We're trading people. It's just like an ugly climate that didn't need to exist. And I think the AFA is in a good position where I think bigger companies need to be big brothers. They need to be mentors. They need to seek to counsel. Shitting on your competition doesn't do you any good. Everybody just wants to beat everybody else. So teach people about margin. Maybe look out for them when they miss a job, whatever. So I think there's nothing other than an association that can feed that. And I think when I got him, the chapter used to be really prominent, and then it kind of just hit a lull for 10, 20 years, and then we're on the revival kick. So we've got a lot of young blood, a lot of people are excited, and we're learning. I went to one meeting, raised my hand, and said, "This is stupid, and you guys suck." And then I came back to chapter president. That's about how that went. So yeah. And so I'm always critical of myself because I'm a man of many things, and I should be more sold out for it. So I wish we had more progress, and I shouldn't be so hard on us because we're doing really good work. The girls at Greenwood are super supportive. Hunter at Ameristar is always down to ride. Todd at Advanced Fence, and there's just Dan Wheeler, Dan. There's a lot of exciting people at the board, and we're getting more momentum. We're kind of building. We had 100, like I said, we had the 100-person golf event, but I made a mistake early. Is I would have meetings and we'd do planning in the meetings, and what we're committing to is we're just going to bring people to a virtual meeting once every other month, and we're going to have it structured. Somebody will speak, we'll do education, and hopefully we'll do some type of vendor display. Somebody gets to show their stuff off. So I would say what we're doing is we're getting our cadence. And we haven't hit our communication stride. It's kind of, I don't know, do you send emails? Do you get a WhatsApp group to pay there? But we're hitting our cadence, but we'll do 3 in-person events a year, every other month. That's not one of those. We'll do a virtual training. And I don't know what Michael Reed and all the big brass are going to have to say about this, but you don't have to be a member to come to our events. You come check it out. Yeah. If we're delivering value, we'd ask you to sign up. And that's kind of my pitch.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's pretty common, right? To say, hey, just come check it out. There's no expectation, right? But we know as being in the chapter, once you come and once you see the camaraderie and kind of the support, you'll want to join. Right. Yeah. And I feel like that's the right approach.
That's what we're trying.
So you just wrapped up the golf event. You said 100 people at the golf event. How'd that go?
I was awesome. I mean, Hunter, a big shout out to Hunter. He puts the whole thing on. Like I deserve no credit, zero whatsoever. And we got like the D&D boys were there, and yeah, it was super successful. It's like it's good. It's good to just go have a day. Like we're
Yeah.
all nose to the grindstone, so it was good.
Nice. You talked a little bit about the board as well. So and it sounds like a pretty good mix between maybe like contractors and manufacturing, wholesale, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think and at the risk of preaching here, it's kind of a catch-22, and this is kind of what I give people a hard time about. It's like, well, the AFA sucks and the association sucks. It's like, well, are you trying to be about it? Because it's like it is your association. So like, if you participate, maybe something good happens. If you don't, it's just like, what are you waiting for the magic? Anyway, and I was that way, but it's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg. Like and I'm very contractor focused. Like if we have a nucleus of contractors, then the suppliers will pay for our stuff, But if you don't have any contractors there, like there's no investment. So I think, our suppliers, Eagle Fence, Ameristar has been super supportive. The Greenwood people have been loyal and they've stuck by the chapter. And like, it's on us right now is to bring in kind of the new breed of like the contractor, but we're contractor focused. Like the value needs to start with the contractor and then it becomes valuable for the manufacturer. And then all of a sudden this ecosystem, and we can look like North Carolina, the Carolinas, and all the other established chapters.
Absolutely. And I think there's a point here too, to talk a little bit more about in that you get out of it what you put into it, right? As far as, and that's really anything in life, but I liken it to like going to an amusement park. You pay your entry fee, you go in, maybe you grab a drink, you sit down, you just hang out for the day. And then you leave, you're like, man, this isn't even great. It wasn't even fun. Like, well, okay, what ride did you ride? No, I didn't do any of that. Oh, okay. Well, what shows did you go see? Nope. Didn't get involved with that either. Okay. Well, what kind of experience were you expecting then? Right.
Yeah.
Were you expecting somebody to come and hold your hand and take you to the rides and take you to the shows? You got to get involved, and in a lot of this, you got to seek out, right? And it's not hard to find, but you do have to do a little bit of research. When are the meetings? When are the events? That sort of thing. But if you get involved, you realize it's an incredible association. It's an incredible experience in general.
Completely agree. Completely agree.
So the Chicagoland chapter, what geographically, who is a part of that? If I'm a contractor in the Chicagoland area, where am I?
So I think like it's tough for us because we want to be expansive, but we also we have a nucleus centered on Chicago. So and there's no chapter in Wisconsin. So I was talking to there's some Wisconsin boys that expressed that they'd like to get participating. So I don't know, maybe we become the Milwaukee, but so. There's no limitation. Anybody that if you're in Eastern Iowa and you want to come. If you're in Southern Illinois, way down, come. And then, I mean, obviously Shane Cotton's doing a really good job in Indianapolis and Indy. So none of those people, but they're always welcome to come. And I think we're gonna do some joint events and all. But yeah, the whole state. I think it was a good move by us. We're embracing virtual. So like the in-person events are obviously going to be in the Chicago suburbs, which is a hike for some people, but that's where most of the action is. And I think what we are in, Peggy, one works for me, and she will be taking over. Like we're very adaptable and we're very agile, so we'll go to where the people are. So there's a whole group of people down south that are like, we want to get involved. Like we'll help them arrange an event. Like we're not. Yeah, there's no ego in what we're doing. So it's come one, come all, and yeah.
Well, and I think that's part of it, right? Like, there's no exclusion. Like, no one's checking IDs at the door to see where your address is, right? Say, oh, now wait a minute, we're this specific geographical area. I mean, if it's convenient for you, then it's a great time to visit. And Wisconsin's not that far. Southern Wisconsin's not that far of a hike to Chicago. I had some family in Kenosha, which is an hour. North of Chicago, northwest of Chicago there. It's really not that hard to get into there, but especially if the area is not really supported by its own chapter, it makes sense to get involved with basically your nearest chapter, I guess.
Absolutely.
Nice. So Kevin, how long have you been involved with the chapter? You said a little bit about that you showed up with some suggestions and you got handed the keys. About how long have you been involved in the chapter itself?
I'm at risk here because I don't think I qualified for my role, so I won't say that out loud. But yeah, I mean, I think so. I did my tour as president-elect last year, and maybe started the year before, and then we were kind of the we went in the amusement park and didn't get much value. So we've always been a subscriber, but I didn't get really active. Probably 3 years ago is when I started.
Okay.
Said like, this is important. I mean, and that's what it really started with. Is this is important, and I was a griper. I think I've shared that in any of these things that I've been on. I was anti AFA. I was absolutely anti AFA, and like, it's only now that I'm involved that I realize how anti helpful that is. It's like, are you like, if you're anti AFA, okay, get involved. Like, it's counter, and we see that all over in human discourse. But yeah, and I don't know. I think I'm going to get put in the camp of like a fanboy. I'm not. Like, I'd say, like, I think the AFA has a lot of things that they need to do different. I think, like, but I do really trust that they're doing those things, and the whole, like, the beard that was this evil cabal of like people that are like, I don't know why we do that. Why do we always do that? There's no. It's like, it's a very agile organization, and maybe not as agile as I'd want it to be, but like, I think a lot of us are small business owners, so we think we can just make a decision and it happens. Like, it's an organization with thousands of companies, like, probably millions of stakeholders. It just takes a long time. But so I think there's no better time to be in the AFA, because I think they really are meeting the need and rising to the occasion from what I can see.
Absolutely. And I think that was one of my takeaways just from getting involved at the chapter level and then kind of peeking behind the curtain into the national level is you've got just a bunch of guys and gals that are trying to do better, right? But it's a big organization. And for a lot of these decisions, you don't really want them to be snap decisions either. You'd like for there to be conversation. You'd like to look at both sides of the coin, that sort of thing. So I think we hear about that on social media a lot, in that, well, this should have been done sooner, or nothing's being done. Well, a lot's being done, but it's happening kind of behind the scenes, and let's have meetings to discuss. Let's make sure this is the right move and that sort of thing. But ultimately, when you look at the results, I think the results speak for themselves, in that the organization as a whole is willing to listen and willing to take suggestions and willing to take, input. But you do need to get involved to have that input, right? You can't really lob suggestions from outside of the fence. You really need to come in, to say, hey guys, here's some suggestions. Here's what I think, and play a role in finding the solution too.
Yeah. Well, that's what I tell my chapter. Like I said at the golf event, like, I'm the chief mouthpiece. So if you got a problem with what the AFA is doing, I know they're listening. Like, I legitimately believe they're listening, and they're still doing some things I don't agree with. But it's like, it's my job is to go take it to higher, right? And that's like what my job was in the military too. It was like, just to make sure that when, like, if we got deployed, like, the higher wasn't going to get anybody killed. Like, that's most of what my job was as an officer. So I did want to ask you. I know you said we could riff, so I don't. Like, and I want to be like, I was talking derogatory. I want to make sure that's not directed at anybody. I was that person, but I was curious because I'm not as plugged in. I know you've been supportive of the AFA. I know Dan Wheeler's supportive of the AFA. And then I saw something, and I'm sorry if you dropped this and I haven't tuned into it. I really wanted to see, has your you sat with Sean King and talked did you guys talk, or that didn't happen? No.
Mm-mm. No.
I thought
I haven't.
Okay, so, and my question, so this is sincere. So, like, there was a post, Mark Olson's post, that was like, Michael Reed is a whatever. He called for, and I was like, man, I understand what you're saying. I'd like to talk to you. And so I've invited him, Brian, and I've invited them to a discussion. And I'm not an influencer, right? So, like, I don't know if that's why. So I'll give them that play. But it's like, I can't get any of them to talk to me. So do you mind if I ask you some uncomfortable questions? I'm like, I used to think that the FWA was a really agile, doing great stuff. And then the more I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, these guys don't want to talk about it. Is it just a front? Like, I'm like, and we don't have to go there today. So to the fence community, I've begged of them, and I haven't talked to Sean, but Mark and Brian, like, I would love to talk to you, because I think AFA and FWA are better together than they are apart. I believe that. But because nobody's willing to talk to me, I'm like, is this a sham? Is it really a sham?
Yeah. So, and understand, this is just my perspective, right?
Yeah.
Is everyone has a way of getting in touch with everybody directly, right? So the people you're talking about have Michael Reed's phone number, right? And they absolutely have his email and the board of directors. Like no one's that hard to get a hold of. So I think making those posts on social media, rather than reaching out directly, I think if a solution was wanted, there could probably be a direct conversation. And so I think really it's a call for discourse, is just maybe starting a public conversation and seeing where it goes might be the outcome of those posts.
You're going to be a good politician someday. That was a very good political answer. That was
no, I don't know. I'm not part of those conversations. I've talked to people within the AFA that have reached out to both directly, just looking for solutions and looking for conversations. But it doesn't seem like those conversations really go anywhere.
Well, I think, and I don't want to be disparaging, but and I appreciate. I mean, I just want to talk to him because, like, the thing is, like, I think the call in that post was like, I'm speaking of one. It's like, you need to get up here and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, listen, Michael Reed's not that guy. He doesn't want to be I will be that guy. I'll take the bullets. Like, shoot the arrows at me. Like, I'm down. And, like, it's like, well, who are you? Well, I don't know. I'm involved with the AFA. I'm pro AFA. I'm pro FWA. Let's, like, have a conversation. And it's like, okay, I've begged, I've tried, I've pleaded, and now, like, nobody's talking to me. I'm like, now I go to a different like realm. Is like, this seems now the question about if it was legit or not becomes, you know what I mean? It's like, and I don't want to go there. I don't want to take it there. I don't want to start there. But, like, before I bring Michael Reed on my podcast, which is all things construction, I would like to talk to Brian as the FWA, because I don't want to be you know what I mean? I'm in the camp right now. They've put me I'm the AFA. I'm not, but I am. So I'd like to, anyway. So that's like, to your audience, I'd love, if you guys can put pressure, I would love to sit down and talk to Mark and Brian and Sean. And I do think that everybody, we're just better together. We would just be better together. So, like, why don't we be better together?
And I think that's a general feeling of just in talking with folks kind of that are a part of both organizations. I mean, I think the general membership of each feels that same way. Like, let's be better together than apart. Like, let's, we don't necessarily need to take pot shots at each other, across the field. Like, let's come together and figure something out, if that's truly the objective. Like, if we're really looking for solutions, then let's meet and talk about solutions, not have like a one-sided conversation that gets edited and put out, or in whatever else the suggested solution might be.
Yeah. Okay. I had to ask, because I swear, I swear I saw a post that you were with Sean. Was that not you? Was that somebody else?
No. Mm-mm.
I got really excited. It was like when the FWA meets the AFA. I was like, they won't let me have the conversation, but I'm just glad it's happening. But maybe
it certainly ought to happen for sure.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, all good.
Get us back on track, boss.
all good. So, so bringing it back around, Chicagoland chapter, open to all, right? So and I feel like this is common with all the chapters, is like, I'm in Missouri. I'm part of the Midwest chapter. I mean, obviously the greatest chapter in the United States. But I'm welcome at any of the meetings, right? So if I happen to find myself up in the Chicagoland, I could come hang out, and just, like, if I were in town for the golf tournament, you guys would have loved to have me, I'm sure. Or if I'm in the Carolinas, or if I'm, West Coast, or the California chapter, if I'm at any one of these, I'm welcome there, just as a fencing professional. And to your point earlier, I don't even need to be a member of the American Fence Association, right? I can show up as a fencing professional and be like, hey, what's going on here? And find a group of guys and gals that are welcoming and say, hey, let's talk about it. I'd love to talk to you about the industry. Sort of.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I gave very little play to the ability, and I haven't really done that good of a job networking, but, like, I think everybody that's in, like, I still think that there should be a tiered membership. Like, there's active AFA and there's passive AFA. Like, I think anybody that's an active, like yourself, anybody that's active is like, dude, they will drop everything they're doing to help somebody. Like, that is just the nature of the industry. Like, there's no, like, there's a story in Colorado about somebody moving mountains to help somebody else. I can't remember the names and whatnot. Like I said, I need to do, but, like, just like watching what Bobby Batchelor's doing with the NPS survey and all the, like, Yeah, it's such a powerful thing. Like fencers supporting fencers, and it's doesn't have to be excluded to anyone. It's just like get
No,
involved.
no. Well, I mean, it's a lot of those things are that way, right? And the education is much the same. Like you can be a non-member and still get educational benefit out of it. It's not an all or nothing sort of thing. But yeah, there's a good group of professionals that are trying to lift heavy things, right? You talked about Bobby and the NPS survey. Talk about a heavy lift. Let's figure out something that can work for all, if not all, the vast majority of our membership to be better at what they do, right? To get better feedback and just better experience. That's a big task. Like that is it's a big lift for a company to figure that out, much less an association. But you've got a group of folks both on the national and the regional boards that are taking on tasks like that, right? Like for a one person, it'd be near impossible, but you've got a group of people that are all kind of lifting in the same direction, makes it much more manageable.
Agreed.
So let's talk about the why. Why should, if I'm in the Chicagoland area and I haven't reached out to you guys for the regional AFA, or I haven't come to an event, what's the why there? What would you tell them to explain the why of you've got to show up and at least experience it?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think why should you? I would answer first, why would you not? And then I would say, before I'd answer why should you, I'd say, why shouldn't you? Which is weird, but it's like, listen, like it's not sexy. Our communication's not great, but it's like we're moving towards something, and like better for them to come and stack hands as we move towards something. It's like easier too. It's like, do you want to come help us build the chapter, or do you want like this? I don't know. Like it's more meaningful for all the people, for us. And I think kind of Bobby's legacy is going to be this NPS that I don't even know. Are we allowed to talk about it? But like, I think it's huge.
It's been talked about in general terms. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like transformational. As somebody that tried to do their own NPS, it is way more complicated than like, hey, fill out a survey and tell us how we did. Like way more complicated.
There's a lot more to it. Yeah.
But I think there's some really cool things coming for the AFA. And if you care about your trade, period, end of sentence. Like why wouldn't you? And like, why wouldn't you help build that? And I've got some tricks up my sleeve. I'm not ready to talk about them yet, but I think, and I'll just say it this way, like one of the really difficult pieces for us, and I think like one of the value issues is like there's a liability anytime we talk about numbers, right? And so I'm going to fix that when I get done with my tour. It's like you need to be able to take a small guy and talk in his P&L. Like we need to do that at scale, give an honest business review, give them insights and help. And like, I'll give it to everybody. Raise your prices. It's probably the answer. It just probably is the answer.
Yeah. Key to profitability is charge a little bit more.
Yeah. But yeah. And I guess it's not the greatest elevator pitch, but like if you're somebody that's established, like, I don't know, there's no better way to like really cement what you know and to go teach it, to go like administer it. And so I think, and I can't, there's a couple big companies I'm calling all the time. Like you guys are like the pinnacle of our market. Like you guys should come, and they're just not interested, and they used to be. And I don't want to say it's selfish. I think it's short-sightedness. I think non-participation is just really short-sightedness, is because I don't know how else you move an industry forward together if you're not going to participate.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is I think a lot of that, what you talked about is impact, right? Having an impact, having your voice be heard, and bringing alternate perspectives. I think that's really how any group gets better, is by having a diverse set of opinions, right? So don't feel like, hey, well, I don't agree, so I might not fit in. You would fit in great, I promise, because I think everyone at the chapter level, at the national level, needs input, right? And they need alternate perspective. The worst place you can be in the world is in an echo chamber, right? You need a few, and I don't want to say dissenting opinions, just alternate opinions to say, okay, I see where we're trying to go, but guys, have we ever thought about going this way? Or, just giving alternate perspectives is, I think, how everyone gets better, for sure.
Totally agree.
So I think that's a solid point, that, the alternate perspectives is I'm harping on it, but I mean, you see a lot of these conversations going on, right? And not just in the main post, but in the comment section. I think we could be better as an industry if all of those conversations happened at some of these meetings, right? Some of these chapter meetings, I mean, there's a ton of meetings that happen at national conference at FinTech. I mean, and they don't have to wait, right? Like the email addresses are published on the website, on the American Fence Association website. You can email anyone in the organization and start a conversation pretty easily. But you've got to start. I think that's the important part.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree.
Absolutely. Well, Kevin, so let's talk about the how people get involved. So if they have questions, if they're in your area, or maybe even if they're not in your area, how does someone get in touch with you to learn more about either the Chicagoland or maybe the AFA in general?
Yeah, so my email should be there. I'm really good about staying on my email. I'm a little bit of a pain in the butt with the phone, but if you call me and text me, I mean I'm good. It's just like I don't answer if I don't know the number, I don't answer. I've got my auto spam delete. It's like, who is this? But yeah, I'm available. We've got Erin, who's kind of our general admin of the chapter. She's good starting point, and then Peggy is our president elect that's going to be taking it over. It's like reach out, and we have a schedule for the year. I think we're making some edits, but we can send that out, and we're going to be posting on. We're going to up our. I don't know social media. I'm not an influencer, man, but we're up in our Facebook game, and we're going to be transmitting out there. So
yeah. Well, you beat me to the next punch, which was, how did someone stay connected? So it sounds like you guys have a Facebook page that's becoming more active.
We just like last meeting was like, we got to get our cadence down. So I think we're going to try to do, I don't know if it's weekly or monthly posting, but like we want to keep the chapter engaged. That's the plan.
Absolutely. So you said you're kind of dialing in the calendar. Do you have an idea, like maybe when the next meeting is?
I do. I was like getting on this call. I'm back to back this morning, and I was like, he's going to ask me for some things that I should really know.
Sure.
And I still don't know them. Go figure. But so we've got coming up. We're going to do negotiation. No, is it? I think it's culture. Give me 1 second. I'm speaking out of turn. Yeah, so we're going to do July 23rd is a virtual meeting. We'll do Sales 101 and Fence Tech 101. We're just going to give the inside scoop for those that don't go to Fence Tech, kind of paint that picture. So, yeah, it'll be a virtual meeting. So we'd love to have you. Come hang out.
Absolutely. So I'll connect with your Facebook page. That way I'll stay up to date with the events like as they're coming up. And then, I'd love to be active. And anyone out there that would like to be active, and whether you're in the Chicagoland area or not, I'd highly encourage you to get connected for sure.
That's awesome. Thanks for doing this, man.
No, Kevin, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you making time available. Like you said, you've got back to back. I understand everyone's time is incredibly important. I appreciate you making time to come on.
Hey, dude, I'm glad with what you're up to. Before I let you go, though, like, let me get your story. Can I get your story? I'm sure all your audience knows your story, but when's the last time, like, everybody knows who Joe Everest is except for Kevin, probably. I know you're involved with the AFA. No. I know you do a lot with, tell me all the things.
Third generation fencing professional. So which just means my granddad started our company in 1955. My dad bought it from him in the mid 90s. I bought it from my dad in 2016. So for better or worse, I've been in it my entire life. And it's so it's funny how like stories can be similar. I spent a lot of time putting together fittings, cleaning up the shop. I graduated when we upgraded our shop to having a welder. Those were big days. To where then I was starting to help fabricate gates, that sort of thing. I installed fence through high school, so I got 3 to 4 summers of installing fence. To your point, now I wish I'd spent more time in the field, but it's funny how you say it, because the next logical step is in sales, and I think the reason is now that I'm in the ownership position, it's hard to find good sales professionals that you trust. Right, sales is a position where you need to trust everyone in the company, but you really got to trust sales, because that's where a lot of things can fall apart. And so I think probably you and our dads probably had the same thought of, hey, this is somebody that they're family. I can trust them explicitly to where when I give them numbers, they're going to stick to numbers, and they're not going to shave something to get a sale, that sort of thing. So I went into sales, and then from sales into kind of production management, project management, which even to today is a dual role now, sales and project management. Yeah. And then my dad, I bought it from my dad in 2016 so that he could focus on commercial sales. He just wanted to run an entire commercial division, which he does till today. My sister got involved 5, 6, 7 years ago, a handful of years ago, to kind of help out with commercial as it continued to grow. And yeah, we've added e-commerce, we've added some retail, wholesale, that sort of thing. But
Yeah, because I thought I saw you're weaving wire too, right?
we were. We did that. We did that for a few years, and then we decided it's not all it's cracked up to be. I think anybody in manufacturing will probably get a chuckle out of that because you kind of get into the weeds of it. You're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
That sounds like every business, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, and the lesson was stick with what you're good at. And what you already have processes for, what you already have team for, like trained team members for, and it's funny. So when we talk about not making decisions quickly, actually being positive, we got into manufacturing very quickly, where I was like, you know what, I've got this really neat idea and we're just going to do it. We have the ability to do it. So let's just do something. There probably should have been a little bit more conversation internally before we jumped into the deep end of that pool. But you also learn a thing or two when you get thrown to the fire like that. But did it for a few years, and we have since stopped doing that.
And I admire your courage to just go swing the bat. It's funny, like, the imprudent, like I kind of think I always use the dog analogy. A puppy hears a noise and he goes running around everywhere. Like an old man knows, like, I'm only getting up when that food shaker happens. It's like the wisdom. Like I don't need to run around. But like what I'm curious about as I'm kind of getting ready for that, like there's a season of my life coming where like something similar to what you're doing, but hopefully different is in the forecast. And if I'm asking too many personal questions, like you can tell me.
No, I love this. I think this is incredibly valuable.
How do you balance your time, right? So we got your pro AFA, you're participating in the chapter, you've got this channel, you've got to get sponsors for this channel, you're podcasting, YouTubing, and then I think you're coaching too. I believe there's a coaching aspect, or not yet.
So we have an educational platform where we've got some coaching content on there. Yeah.
Okay. How do you balance your time while you're trying to run a fence company? Like, or have you figured it out so you don't have to spend much time at the company, or you're still?
I'll let you know when I figure it out. Okay. No, here's the thing is, so I heard there's a guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, who's, if you guys haven't heard of him, you need to check him out. So he gets asked a question about work-life balance. He goes, how do you balance work-life? He goes, you don't. It's not a perfect balance where each hand isn't perfectly attuned to the other. And I love how you use seasons of life, because that's how I view this is some seasons going to outweigh the others. Right. So, and I've got some great guys that work behind the scenes here on this channel to make sure the content goes out, to make sure we can scale the content. So maybe part of the answer is putting together a great team. And I think that applies to running a business in general, is the stronger you can make the team, the faster you can run. And just, building out that team. Now, I'm not great at it, right? Like please do not think I have anything figured out, because, and what's funny is when you talk to professionals that you view, if I were going to interview someone that's got, a multi-location business, that just like a fence company where everyone's like, these guys have it figured out. I guarantee if you get them one-on-one in just a completely private personal discussion, they'd be like, man, listen, this thing's like, duct taped together and we're holding on with chewing gum sort of thing. I feel like everyone kind of has that of, I don't have anything figured out. Like, this is us just keeping this thing running to a certain extent. Right. So there isn't a balance that I found, it seems like I'm never home as much as I want to be. I'm never here as much as I want to be. It feels like I'm always behind everywhere. But that's probably the season of life that I'm in right now, is just in the building season, right? Is I'm of the age where you build the thing and then later on you run the thing. Right. So I think that's kind of where I'm at, is just building it out and building out teams that support it. I mean, that's the thing, is the only reason this thing runs as well as it does right now is because of the team that's in place.
Yep.
So maybe that's the key.
I think that is the key. As you said it, I was like THE capital underline. That's only as good as your weakest link a lot of times.
That's it. That's
That's
absolutely
rad, man.
and sometimes you are the weakest link. That's one thing I'm figuring out is several things around here. I am the bottleneck, so I need to step out of our own way.
Well, so it's interesting because, Jocko's book, or maybe Jocko Willink,
Yeah.
Extreme Ownership. Like, I haven't read it, but it's like, I get it. I get it. It's like you own it. And like a lot of times us leaders are like, well, this person, that, when we're talking about when it's like going all wrong, it's like we're blaming everybody else, but it's like good and the bad. Like it's your problem. Like, it's totally, you put that person there, or like it's never, and it's, it's interesting. My story is a little different. Like I've always been trying to delete myself because I've got grand plans for the world that are getting ready to be revealed here soon. But it's like, it was the moment you use the word, like everybody says they don't have it figured out. It was the moment I thought I had it figured out. Legitimately, I thought I had built an automated company that didn't need me day to day. Went running into my other stuff. It was last year. I was just about calling banks coming in to take it. Like it was pretty dire. So I think it's actually super dangerous for anybody that thinks they've got it figured out. Like you got to be nervous about something, watching something, caring about, like, it's like, so it was just a good reminder of like, got to keep your finger on the pulse.
That's it is, put a team in place, but oversee the team, right? Like don't feel like it's going to run just by itself in an automated way. The big saying is trust but verify. Like I trust everything here is going super well. I just need to verify that real quick. Let's grab a meeting where we talk about KPI or whatever it needs to be, to your point, just to keep the pulse. Like, okay, because sometimes it's, you can put leaders in place that run their thing super well, but when you have multiple leaders that maybe aren't communicating with each other, maybe they might be running their division to the detriment of another one, and everyone ends up maybe fighting themselves without knowing it.
So wait, I gotta know though. So are you putting more time into the fence company or more time into this side of the house?
The fence company.
Oh, it is. Okay, cool.
For sure.
That's
Yeah, for sure.
You're buttoned up, man. It looks like super legit. It's very, like I've always thought of you as one of the legit players in this space.
It's a team. It's a team, man. And we've kind of got a playbook together that we put the right people in the right places, and everybody follows the playbook, and it works well.
Are you on EOS? Are you a traction guy?
So I'm not, but I was at a it was the Voice of the Industry by Job Nimbus last week, and I was talking with Matt Warner, and just about the same conversation about me being the bottleneck, and him and Robert Whitaker were there, and they're like, you got to get on board with EOS. EOS sorts that whole thing out. And it's like, it's funny. I've heard that now for like the last 5 years of like, you got to figure it out. You got to get involved.
So let me witness to it. So so I'm in a Vistage group. Great thing for me, because it was like, instead of just like getting fence advice, right, it's outside of the business. And like I read the book. We had been self-implementing. It was actually when Dad was still involved, like before I left for the Marine Corps, like he was like, we're going to follow this book. I was like, listen, bro, if we're following the book, we're going to follow the book. And like the first thing the book tells you is if people don't align with the culture, you get rid of them. And our number one salesman was a total fucking cock. And I was like, hey, man, like, if we're going to follow the book, we got to get rid of him. And he's like, well, we're not going to do that part. And I was like, well, then we're not doing any of it. Like, it was a huge fight. But I went on to try to self-implement for 7 years. And it was only because a good buddy that I respected running a $100 million company in my business group was like, I finally paid an implementer, and I should have done it a long time ago. I just went paid the money. It's the difference in getting traction and not like, I would tell you when you do it, just do it. Just do it. Find the right implementer. You can self-implement, play with it for a while, but like be ready to just actually get somebody and bring you. I think but in my experience, it was the only way. I'm not a good facilitator. Yeah. It was the right answer for us.
Well, because, and I don't know your situation, but I know mine is I'm great at explaining away things. I'm like, well, see, the reason we do it this way is because this, and this, where someone outside perspective says, okay, well, that's fine, but we're still not going to do it that way. Like we'll find the correct way of doing it. Like, well, this is kind of the most dangerous phrase. This is how we've always done it. Well, okay, well, look at where you are, and now look at where you want to go. what got another saying is what got you here isn't what's going to get you there. Right? We've got to change some things up.
Yeah, that's a big one. Well, awesome, dude. I won't consume any more of your time with my ramblings, but I appreciate you having me on.
I love this so much.
Yeah.
Come on. Well, Kevin, thank you so much. I appreciate you being so given of your time. I really, really do.
Likewise, my friend. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Guys, appreciate you tuning in. I think you got some great nuggets out of this. I know I have. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below or reach out to one of the two of us or both of us. It's fine. We'd love to help however we can. For now, Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors.